For today's lesson, we are going to look at factoring trinomials when a is greater than 1. So remember, trinomials are polynomials made up of the sum and difference of three unlike terms. When we factor trinomials, we find that they are the product of two binomials, hence why we did the topic of multiplying binomials. That's the connection. Here we will investigate trinomials that take the form ax squared plus bx plus c, where a is greater than 1, all right? So when we look at our trinomials, we have ax squared plus bx plus c, and we're going to be looking at today when a is greater than 1. These types of trinomials can be hard to factor, but it just takes a few more steps from when we factored where a equals 1. All right, so the first thing we're going to look at is determine if there is a GCF between the terms a, b, and c. We're not going to use Desmos to help us. We're just going to focus on seeing if we can do it ourselves. Then we're going to fill in the box with the ax squared term in the top left and the c term in the bottom right. Multiply your a and c terms together to find the factors of the products of a and c. Add them until you find the factors that sum to the b term. Fill in the factors in the diagonal parts left of the box. And then you're going to pull out a GCF out of the top and the sides. So we are going to follow those steps, but I'm also going to show you that you can also factor not only using the box method, but you can also use grouping to help you as well. All right. So if we take a look at our first example here, we have 2x squared plus x minus 6. So the first thing we're going to look at is, do we have a GCF between 2, 1, and negative 6? And we can see here that the only GCF is 1, which does not help us very much. So our terms are going to stay the same. So we're going to have a is 2, b is 1, and c equals negative 6. Okay. So now something that I like to use is called a sum and product puzzle. So you could do just list all of the factors of a certain number and then add them together. But I like to use a sum and product puzzle because it also helps to keep me organized as well. All right, so anytime we are factoring where a is greater than 1, in the sum and product puzzle, we're going to multiply a times c. And then we have b. All right. And then you're going to look for those two factors that multiply to give you a times c, that add together to give you b. So for this example, we can see that a is 2 and c is negative 6. So in our sum and product puzzle, we have 2 times a negative 6 gives us a negative 12, hence what is right here. And then our b is 1. So we're looking for two factors that when we multiply give us negative 12, that when we add them together give us a positive 1. So listing out your factors, we can see that we have negative 3 and a positive 4, because when we multiply them, they give us a negative 12. When we add them together, it gives us 1. So here's where we have to take it a step further from when we factored using trinomials with a equals 1. So instead of just simply saying, hey, I have x minus 3, x plus 4, I'm actually going to take these two factors and I'm going to plug them into my box. All right. So remember when we multiplied, we could see that we had negative 3x and 4x are like terms. If we combine them together, it gives us our middle term of b of 1x. Okay. So when we used the box method originally, we had to multiply to get our trinomial. Now we're going to work backwards and we're going to take out the GCF in order to find our factors or our binomials that multiply to give us our trinomial. So looking at my first row, I have 2x squared and 4x. My GCF there is going to be 2x. My second row, I'm going to have negative 3x and a negative 6. My GCF is going to be negative 3. My first column, I have 2x squared and negative 3x. My only GCF there is x. And then for 4x and negative 6, my only GCF is 2. All right. So my factors here are going to be 2x minus 3 and x plus 2. All right. We can also use grouping to help us, and we're going to get the same exact answer. So instead of using, if you're not a fan of using the box method, which is completely fine, we are now going to use grouping to help us see. So again, my first term is going to stay the same. So I have 2x squared. Then I'm going to replace my middle term of x with negative 3x and positive 4 and keep my last term the same. So with grouping, you're going to group the first two, group the last two. My GCF of my first expression is just going to be x, and I'm going to be left with 2x minus 3. GCF of my second term is 2, so I'm going to be left with 2x minus 3. I can see that what's in parentheses is the same. So my factors are 2x minus 3 and x plus 2. So the same thing that we got above, okay? All right, looking at the second example. So our second example is a little tricky. So we're actually going to skip over this one and actually go to the third example. All right, so looking here, we have 2x squared plus 8x minus 24. So looking again, we always look for our GCF. Our GCF here is going to be 2. So once we pull a 2, we're left with x squared plus 4x minus 12. So again, we can see here that this is a equals 1, but we can still use that method to help us out that we use for factoring when a is greater than 1. So again, we have that a equals 1, b equals 4, and c equals negative 12. Okay, so again, we can make our sum and product puzzle. We're looking for two numbers that when we multiply give us 12, because 1 times a negative 12 is a negative 12. And we're looking for the factors that add to 4. All right, so looking here, we're going to have 6 and a negative 2. So now we're going to go to our box. For some reason, this is an error, so this should just be x squared, not 4x squared. And this should be a negative 12. So we're going to take our 6x and our negative 2x and replace that into our box method. We have x squared and negative 2x, which has an x in common, 6x and negative 12, which has an x in a 6 in common. Then we have x squared and 6x, which has a 6 in common, and we have a negative 2x and a negative 12, which gives us our negative 2. So our factors are x plus 6, x minus 2, but we also can't forget about the GCF of 2. All right, so again, we could have used the method from last time or from last week where we just simply took those factors and just put them in. But of course, I wanted to show you that the method for factoring with a equals 1 also works for when a is greater than 1. All right, so we can also use grouping to help us as well. So keeping my first term the same, I'm going to scratch out this sum because we don't need that. Replacing with my two factors of 6x and negative 2x and a minus 12. Group my first two terms together. Again, my GCF is x, and I'm left with x plus 6. My GCF is negative 2, and I'm left with x plus 6. What's in parentheses is the same, so I have x squared minus 2. And I have x plus 6, and of course, not forgetting my GCF. So my final answer is 2 times x minus 2 times x plus 6. Or you can flip the 6 and the negative 2 around. You could put 2 times x plus 6 times x minus 2. Looking at the third example, again, we have 9x squared minus 6x minus 15. All right, so we're looking at the GCF. So we know that 9, 6, and 15 have 3 in common. So we factor out a 3, okay? So looking here, we have our A is equal to 3, our B is equal to negative 2, and our C is equal to negative 5. Multiplying A times C, we have negative 15. And then we have our B of negative 2. So we're looking for two numbers that when we multiply, give us a negative 15. That when we add them together, give us a negative 2. So our factors are going to be negative 5 and a positive 3. Again, taking those factors, We are going to replace. I don't know why some of this got cut off. So our 3x squared is going to stay the same. Our negative 5 is going to stay the same. We're going to put in our negative 5x and our positive 3x. And again, pull out the GCF. GCF of my first row is 3x. GCF of my second row is negative 5. GCF of my first column is just x. And GCF of my my second column is going to be 1 because we have to have that placeholder there. So my factors are 3 times 3x minus 5 times x plus 1. We can also use grouping to help us. So again, keeping my first term the same, keeping my last term the same, and replacing my middle term with my factors that I found. Again, group the first two, group the last two. So pulling out a 3x, we get x plus 1. Pulling out a negative 5, we get x plus 1. Grouping our GCFs together, we get that x plus 1 times 3x minus 5. And then we can't forget about our GCF. So we get the same answer. So just going to write it again at the bottom. X plus 1, 3x minus 5. All right, so this example is very similar to the last one. We're working with pretty much the same numbers. Looking at, we have a negative 15 and a positive 2. So we're just going to skip on over to this last one here before your exit ticket questions. So I have 2x squared, 3x, and negative 9. I can see that my GCF is just going to be 1. So that's going to leave me with a is equal to 2, b is equal to 3, and c is equal to 9. Multiply my a times my c, that gives me negative 18, and my b is 3. So I'm looking for two numbers that when I multiply them give me a negative 18, that when I add them together give me a positive 3. So my answer is going to be 6 and negative 3. Keeping my first term the same, x squared, and my last term the same, negative 9. Going to replace, so I have 6x in one box and negative 3 in the other. Looking at the GCF in my first row, GCF is x, GCF is 3. Here we have the GCF is 2x, and here we have the GCF is negative 3. All right, so our factors are x plus 3 times 2x minus 3. Because again, we had no GCF. We can also use grouping. 2x squared plus 6x minus 3x minus 9. Group my first two, group my last two, take my GCF. So I have 2x comes out of there, which leaves me with x plus 3. Then we're going to pull out a negative 3 out of our second expression, which leaves me with x plus 3. So I know that one of my factors is x plus 3. And I'm going to group my GCFs together, which is 2x minus 3. So my factors are 2x minus 3 and x plus 3. So remember, since we didn't do the video notes the traditional way that we normally do it, you're not going to have any questions at the end of this video, but this was just here as a reference, as a refresher, since we did do the video notes live in class. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to send me a message. Please do not forget to complete your exit ticket, and we will go over those 4 questions, the last 4 questions on the notes tomorrow for warm-up.